welcome to another Bedtime Books. Today I'm going to be reading Clark the Shark. This book is by Bruce Hale and it's illustrated by Guy Francis. I'm excited. Let's get started. In all the wide blue seas, in all the wide blue world, the top school for fish was Theodore Rosterfish Elementary. And of all the fish at Theodore Rosterfish, the biggest and strongest was Clark the Shark. So here he's coming out of his school bus submarine into the elementary school right over here. Clark loved school, and he loved his teacher, Mrs. Inkydink. He loved to play upsy-downsy and spin a jig with his friends. Clark loved his life. School is awesome, shouted Clark the Shark. Less shouting and more reading, said Mrs. Inkydink. Lunchtime is sweet, yelled Clark the Shark. Munch on your own lunch, said his best friend, Joey Mackerel. Recess rocks, bellowed Clark the Shark. You're playing rough, Clark, cried the other kids. Yes, Clark loved his life with all of his sharky heart, but he loved everything way too much. He was too loud. He was too wild. He was just too much shark for the other fish to handle. After a while, no one would play with Clark. No one ate lunch with him. No one sat with him at circle time. Even his best friend, Joey Mackerel, said, "Cool your jets, Clark. You're making me crazy." So here's Clark. Can you tell how he's feeling right now? One day, Clark asked Miss Inkydink, "What's wrong with everyone?" Mrs. Inkydink patted his fin. "Clark, sometimes you play too hard. You munch too hard. And gosh, you even help too hard." "But life is so exciting," said Clark. "There's a time and a place for everything," said Mrs. Inkydink. "And sometimes the rule is to stay cool." At recess, Clark tried to stay cool, but he pushed the swing with too much zing. "Sorry," said Clark. "I forgot." "Yikes!" cried Joey Mackerel. At lunch, Clark tried to stay cool, but everything smelled so good and he munched a bunch of lunches. "Sorry," said Clark. "I forgot." "We're starving," said his friends. So he's trying to be a good friend. In class, Clark tried to stay cool, but a good book got him all shook up. "Now, Clark," said Mrs. Inkydink, "this isn't the time or the place. Tell me, what's the rule?" "Stay cool," said Clark. "Hey, that rhymes," he cried. Rule, cool, they do rhyme. Then Clark got a big idea in his sharky head. "Maybe if I make a rhyme, I'll remember every time," he thought. The next day, he put his plan to work. Make a prediction. What do you think his plan is going to be? In class, when lessons got exciting, Clark wanted to bounce out of his seat. Instead, he told himself, "When the teacher's talking, don't go walking." What do you know? It worked. "Attaboy, Clark," said Mrs. Inkydink. Clark smiled. Lessons are fun! At lunch, everything smelled so yummy. When Clark wanted to eat and never stop, he said, only munch on your own lunch. And it worked again. Way to go, Clark, said his friends. Clark grinned. Lunch is fun. So it seems like his friends are starting to want to play with him and sit with him again. At playtime, Clark told himself, easy does it, that's the way. Then my friends will let me play. And playtime was fun. Once more, Clark loved his life. But then a shadow fell across the playground. A ginormous shadow with tentacles galore. It's a new kid. Ooh, and he looks scary, cried Joey Mackerel. Swim for your lives, he yelled. The squid squashed the slide and snapped off the swings. Oops, my bad, said the new kid. So here's the new friend at school. And here's Clark. Wait, said Clark. He just wants to play. Let's find a way. As he swam to the new kid with all his might, Clark played harder than he ever had before. Upsy-downsy and spin-em-a-jig. He even made up a new tail game. Thump-wump-a-lumpus. Wow, that was fun, said the new kid breathless as he settled down. If you want to come to school, you got to stay cool, said Clark. So here they are playing all these different games. That's right, Clark, said Mrs. Inky Dink. And thanks for taking care of our new classmate, Sid the Squid. Hooray for Clark the Shark, everyone cheered. That night, Clark's mother asked, "What did you learn at school, dear?" "That there's a time and a place for everything," Clark said. "And sometimes you just gotta stay cool." But sometimes a shark's gotta do what a shark's gotta do. Thanks for joining me for Clark the Shark. See you guys next time.